Hello and welcome to the Rangers Rabble. I am Mark, and tonight I am joined by Graham and Craig. How we doing, Graham? You all right?
Aye, all good, mate. All good. Good to be back on. It's been a wee while.
Good stuff. I have not seen you for a while, so you keep well.
Aye, all good, mate. I just all working, watching Rangers and just getting on with life.
Good, good. And yourself, Craig? How are you?
All good, mate. All good this end. Long, busy week, but nice downtime now and podcast tonight and podcast tomorrow. So can't complain.
Good, good. So I better start with the usual like, share, subscribe. I think we're no far away from getting switched on to Patreon as well, guys. So I think that the members from the YouTube can switch across to Patreon, and you will get a lot of the kind of the members shows, and you will get early access to a lot of the interviews and all that good stuff. So just say, just know the story, guys. Use like, share, subscribe. Um, just saying hello, welcome to everybody that's came along to watch us, listen. Um, and listen, guys, if you want to get any sort of a comments in or any questions, fire away. This is as much your show as it is ours. So, as I said, we always like to hear from you guys. So just to fire in anything you're after, or you want to learn, or you want to discuss, just let us know in the comments, and we'll try and bring it up. Just we've got a fair few things to kind of get my teeth into tonight. There's a fair wee bit been happening here and there. We did obviously do a member show yesterday, last night, so one or two things will probably come up the same as that. So apologies to the members that already discussed this and stuff like that. But we'll try and be a wee bit more PC, seeing as it's not a member show tonight. So I'll just first things first, guys. I'll go to you, Graham. There was rumours, we discussed it yesterday, last night in a members show. There was rumours regarding the fact that we were not going to get any sort of an away allocation at Parkhead. This seems to have came to fruition today. There's been a few reports out saying that this is going to be the case. So I think it's going to be a kind of tit for tat, and we are not going to have any sort of a away support when the Old Firm comes to us, and vice versa. I think it looks like that's going to be the case now. I don't think there's anything official for the club. I don't know if any of you two have heard anything official for any club, but as I said, it seems to be that this is going to be the case moving forward. Graham, what's your thoughts on it? Are you happy, sad, could care less? What's your thoughts?
When it happened, when the allocation got cut for the first time, I was quite happy with that. I've always been the opinion that we should look after our own. If any Rangers fan buys a season ticket, they should get all the games at home. They shouldn't be getting either moved or even not getting to the big games. Basically, that's what most people buy a season ticket for. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. 700-800 that they get. It's the same as every other fan base in the league apart from cup games. So that's the way it should be. But I must admit, I've kind of knew this was going to happen at some point because always the backlash and people moaning and the media hyping it up and causing problems and agendas and stuff like that. So I knew that at some point this was going to happen. But I'd rather see Rangers fans inside the Ibrox every game basically than them. So I'm all for it.
That's fair enough, and thanks very much for the £2 there. Ridiculously sad and ultimately our fault, Craig. What's your thoughts on that one?
I agree with Graham. I think it's sort of it's not really sort of massively different to most of the clubs in the league. It's not. We shouldn't be pandering and sort of giving them a whole stand or sort of most of the stand like we used to. Yes, I get that it works the other way and we don't get much at their place, but Graham's spot on. We should be looking after our own supporters. They're the ones who pay to come in every week, and they should get the first refusal.
Yeah, I think probably I'm along those lines. As I said myself, I think that's we are the paying customer. I do understand the opposite side of the coin regarding the atmosphere, but look, it's still going to be loud and it's still going to be rocking. Is anybody else in the comments along the same lines as Andrew? Do they agree? Do you disagree? Let us know. Just Graham, I mean, obviously with no away fans, Do you think that has an effect on the team and the players? So, I said obviously if we're going to go there and not have any fans backing us, do you think that will uh, have an effect on the players and their performance?
Fans are important. Obviously, without fans, there wouldn't be any football. But I just believe at at home, you should always have your fans. So if it's going to mean less fans, but the 700-800 fans, you'll hear them. You do hear them. So it's not as if it's like total silent. Like maybe when you look at the new camp for the El Clasicos and stuff, they're way up in the gods and you can't hear them and you don't even see them. Well, when we go to Parkhead, you don't really see us on the telly either because we're stuck in a wee dingy corner. But I just, it's one of the things that they're professional footballers. They train hard all week. They go to play their game plan. The fans, yes, they can have an effect, but it's all down to the players when they cross the white line. So I don't really see it as much of a problem as maybe other people do.
Yeah, Andrew's back in about another £2. Thanks very much. But Craig, this is so the board can sell £300 tickets. I mean, I kind of see the kind of business side of things regarding this, but surely it doesn't really matter whether they sell the tickets to Celtic or they sell the tickets to Rangers fans. Are still selling the tickets, so surely, I mean, probably make more for a Celtic rather than giving it to a season ticket holder. At a deducted cost, they'll make more money selling tickets to Celtic fans, and obviously increase our bank balance with that. Craig, so what's your thoughts? Can you see the business side of things?
Yeah, I can certainly with the business side, and I think that's the way the board will look at it. But end of the day, it's sort of done now. I'm not too sure on the way it was sort of touted. It was down to health and safety concerns, whether that's a smoke screen. But I don't think we'll get that out. I think we'll just get what's come out in the last couple of days.
Yeah, as I say, I've put something down here. I mean, I think Graham, was this always going to be the way it was going to go? I mean, I think it was kind of tit for tat, and obviously there's been a bit of animosity, rightly so, probably between ourselves and we're partners across the road. Do you think that it was always going to be the case, and do you think that this was inevitable, that this was going to happen, and there wasn't going to be any away fans?
Yeah, like I said a minute ago, I believe this was always going to come because I agree with, I think it was Kerr said last night in the members show that the police probably prefer it this way. If we're being honest, the clubs probably prefer it this way, or at least the 700-800. Although they're maybe talking in the press and say they want this and they want that, I think deep down they probably this is the best for all parties. Apart from maybe the fans that enjoy going to the games and get the tickets, because obviously it's less tickets, so there's a lot of fans that won't get them. So it's the lucky ones that'll enjoy it, especially if they go and win. But I just don't see it. It's like when we go there, it's like, again, I spoke on the members show last night that the Rangers fans need to meet early on. I think it's 2.5 hours before kick-off, and then the police march them. But it's not the same when they come to Ibrox and we're stuck in a corner with pillars in front of us, paying the same price for a ticket, etc. And there's in that area as well, there's been lots of kind of near misses and crushes and stuff like that as well. So that we spoke about in the members show last night as well. So I just don't think if we maybe got the same kind of quality of seating and outside the ground access and stuff like that, we'd maybe think fair's fair then. But I just feel as if we're not getting what the kind of quality that they get when they come to Ibrox.
So obviously this is a point here. I'm worried when Rangers go to Parkhead with no fans. Is that a worry for you, Craig, or do you think that this team should be professional enough to be able to go there and perform? I mean, it's not really the first time they've been in a hostile atmosphere. Granted, usually when we go away, we are probably in the majority and probably louder than the home support. But will this affect the Rangers players? As I said, it's something that I've thought about as well, but they should be professional enough. What do you think, Craig?
The worry I have about this Rangers team doesn't come into the fact about fans or no fans. It's generally how they turn up on the day. Yeah, the sort I can get the argument that we go into their atmosphere and there's 50 odd thousand of them and none of our fans to cheer them on. But at this level, they're professional footballers. They should be used to going into environments that are not friendly. I mean, the games we played last season where we had barely any fans away in Europe didn't seem to faze them. So for me, it's more of a mentality of playing in the league than it is going to a stadium with no fans.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would rather. I think I kind of put it less diplomatically last night on the members show, but I would rather see our fans that pay for season tickets and have been sat there for years to be able to for once get tickets to an Old Firm game or not get shifted or not get moved. For me, it's our club, it's our team. We want to see them, and the fact that they get shifted kind of irks on me a wee bit. I think that we should look after our own fans, and like I said, the financially you probably make more money by bringing Celtic fans in and charging them more for their tickets than you would, as I say, giving season ticket holders them at cut price. So for me, I would definitely stick to how it is. As I said, I would give them the same allocation as most away support get, because at the end of the day, they are away support. I know that they feel that they're more important than any other team in the club, but the league. But as I said, for me, that's irrelevant. What they think, as I said, it's our stadium, and we should be able to do what we want for it. As I said, I think that they've been a wee bit childish by, well, if you're doing it, we're going to do it, and vice versa. And now they're trying to one up us by saying, well, you're not going to get any fans at all. So do you know what? It is what it is. I really couldn't care less. I think that we suck it up and we move on. As I said, until such times as it gets revisited, but I don't think it will. I really don't. As I said, it is what it is. So moving on, we'll leave that there. We'll park that for the time being, because as I said, we kind of we could kick this to death regarding rivalries and regarding tit for tat and stuff like that. So we'll move on. Craig, just a other thing that's happened over the last kind of few days. Kel Fox's takeover seems to be dead in the water. So I mean, we've kind of seen. I've not really read an awful lot about it, but I think that what's happened is they've been her and this consortium have tried to kind of force their way in the door, and I think that our board's just not really been having it, and I think that there has possibly been some kind of discussion in the background, but I mean, realistically, do you think it was ever going to happen? It was ever going to get off the ground?
I don't think so. I was listening to a couple of podcasts in the week around it because I'd not I'd seen it pop up on a couple of group chats, and I'd not really read into it. I'd heard the name and sort of heard the rumours for a while that there was this interest in buying the club. Reading into it, it was never the case that she was going to buy the club. Her role is to sort of identify investors, and then they buy the club as a consortium. And then the way it would go is that any profit would go back to them before it goes into the club. Obviously, any profit we do make. So for me, that was never gonna happen. If they were looking to buy shares into the club, Mr. King's been selling his shares for a little while. They could have easily bought them off him and sort of had a piece of the club. So no, I think it was just more of a sort of attention side, and sort of never really going to come to any form of fruition.
Yeah, just on this, she's nothing but an asset stripper. Don't really know enough about her, Graham. Possibly, I know that Dave King's obviously pulled out of selling his shares to 1872. Do you think there's maybe an option there where Dave King might sell his shares to her?
I must admit, mate, I'm not really clued up on this and read up much, but if it's what Craig was saying about these kind of hedge fund stuff through previous another club, and I believe the same hedge fund done AC Milan as well, so I wouldn't like that at all. I wouldn't trust Americans coming into sport. They're trying to this whole Super League, that a lot of them are involved in that, so I wouldn't really like that to be coming into Rangers, if I'm being perfectly honest. But Dave King obviously can sell his shares to whoever he wants, but if it gave up on the idea of Club 1872, so I don't see if they really wanted it, they could probably buy him out, but obviously I'm not really clued up on all this kind of stuff to give a professional or a in-depth opinion, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I'm not really interested in that level. As I said, for me, it's what's happening on the park. I love a good transfer rumour. I love to see that stuff. But as I said, I think that fundamentally we kind of know that we need investment, but I think investment's going to be a good thing. But for me, it needs to be the right sort of investment. And as I said, when these kind of shadowy figures and hedge funds and stuff like that, Craig, come into the equation, you really don't know who's buying what and who's doing what where. It's all a bit kind of murky. As I said, it's a strange one to kind of try and get your head around. So I don't know anything about it. You seem to be a little bit more clued up than myself, Craig. Have you got anything that you know about this Kyle Fox or this consortium?
No, I think it was more just what I'd heard this week. As I say, it would be more they would be looking to put money into the club, and their main focus would be profit. So the football club and the football side of things, if any profit was made, would then suffer because that profit would go to them first before it goes into the football club. Which isn't really the sort of type of investment that we want. If we want investment, it's got to be, like you said, the right investment. People can moan and argue, and I've had my thoughts on the current board and current sort of people that are involved. But that's not there. They might take money out of the club that's owed to them, but that ultimately, if it was a choice between that or letting the club fall into previous sort of issues again, they would make sure the club was at least running properly.
Yeah. As I said, that's there's one here. So we don't need people coming into our club without knowing the ins and outs. So, as I said, for me, the point being is, I don't think anybody really, especially Scottish clubs, comes into invest money into a Scottish club or a club that's not one of these top six in England and tries to make money. I think it's, for me, it's impossible that you try and invest in a club, because I don't think there's much money to be made, especially when you've got fans dying for multi-million-pound players when you get what, 2 million for winning the league. So for me, it's a kind of a bit of a fool's errand to try and make money from that. It's strange, and I know that we're board have had a lot of stick, and I've gave them stick, but at the end of the day, they've stuck a lot of money in, and it's been their own money. It's been at their pocket as well. So as I said, I know that obviously some of this money's been paid back, but they should have like a sort of an interest in Rangers, as far as I'm concerned. Some faceless corporate mob from America or anywhere else, for me, is no really the way I think we should be going. But then again, where do you get your investment from? So that for me is the biggest issue, rather than that. Um, so as I said, we'll move on. We'll move on for that as well. So Graham, just another one it's been doing the rounds today. Yilmaz to be loaned back to Besiktas. I think it was a report in Turkey, in a Turkish website, or a Turkish media outlet that said that this deal's already been done. Have you heard anything about it? What's your thoughts on that?
I've not heard of it. It actually came as a shock. I thought it was one of the kind of, not a joke as such, but just somebody starting something to get a wee bit of attention on Twitter. But it's a strange one. I'd be very shocked if it's true. I must admit, obviously, he's hardly played for the first team, and obviously through injury and stuff. So the only thing I can think of, if it was true, it must be kind of maybe settling in issues or maybe family issues back home. Then needs to go back. And if it is that case, then fair enough. But football decision-wise, it'd be a bad statement for the board if he goes out on loan and he's hardly played and we've not even got to see him. And we couldn't really judge him properly. So I'd be very shocked. But obviously, we're probably going to talk about it later on. he should hopefully be playing tomorrow because of Borna Barisic's situation regarding his soon to be born child. But it's a strange one, mate. And to be honest, I'm not going to take it as a fact or that yet until I see maybe a wee bit better sources saying it.
Yeah, I mean, Craig, surely this is pie in the sky. I think that it's a bit of creative journalism. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was. I think Heart and Hand were sort of were rubbishing it earlier, so I do think it's just some journalists getting that out there. I personally don't see Yilmaz leaving. If I'm going to be honest, out the two of them, I would probably be more inclined to see Borna leaving in the summer, because I think his time is probably up like a few of the players. You can't really be buying a boy in for 5 million, and then sort of let him go, especially on loan. If he's going to go because of personal issues or not settling in or whatever, you would look to sell him back to his old club, not loan him. For me, that would be a very bad look for the board, to spend that much money and then to sort of loan him out after a year, like Graham said, of not really playing, which isn't his fault, obviously, because he's had injuries and then hasn't been able to get back into the team. But hopefully, if he plays tomorrow, we'll get a good look at him rather than sort of half an hour against Raith Rovers.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Just on this one there. So you think the boy's happy and settled here, Graham? Do you think he's happy, or do you just think he's been unlucky?
I think he's been unlucky. To be honest, I've not really seen much of him on social media, so you don't really get an idea of what he's doing outside of football or that. So, but I'd like to think the players, the management, and all the kind of staff that we've got employed to try and get the new signings settled are doing their job, and he's kind of up to speed. And he's got like his house sorted or a flat or whatever, and he knows the restaurants and all that to go to, so he can settle down. But he's a player I've been excited about when we signed him. Obviously, I didn't know much about him, but you watch the YouTube clips and he looks like a good player, and he likes to attack from defensive positions, so it kind of suits our style. And Michael Beale, I think he kind of suits his kind of style I've watched as well. So he's one I've been excited to see. So let's just hope we can get to see him get a run of games now and kind of make that left back position his own and put a good fight up against Borna for it. And that's only a good thing for the club going forward.
Yeah, just on this, Aldo's wrote there. The lad's about to get a proper run of games now. Load of push, right? So, I mean, surely Craig, this boy deserves a run in this team. For me personally, I don't think he's had much of a chance as such under Gio for a start. But now that he's back fit, what's your thoughts? Should he get a run? Should Borna get dropped?
I think personally, I think Borna is probably one of the better consistent performers, especially since Michael Beale's come in. But for me, it's probably perfect that he is going to be able to have a baby, and then Yilmaz can get a run in the team. She sort of takes Borna out the line for a little bit, but also gives Yilmaz a good run. I'm very excited by him. The few bits I've seen of him, he gives us something different to Borna. Yes, he may not be as good with the crosses as Borna is, but then clubs sort of quickly suss that out and quickly play that. Whereas Yilmaz can offer us something different. I mean, Sunday, within sort of 5 minutes of coming on, he had a sort of run and cut inside and had a shot. So that's something that we don't really see very often. I'm really excited to see him. Hopefully he'll be in tomorrow, and then get a good run of games while Borna is otherwise disposed. And if he does play well, then it's Borna's shirt to win back rather than him just sort of coming back straight into the team.
Yeah, as I said, we playing a wee bit of devil's advocate here, Graham. So if Yilmaz was going, he would have went in January when the rumours started. Maybe this is a loan to buy in the summer. Now, there has been a lot of smoke, and sometimes I feel as if there's no any smoke without fire. Do you think this is the case? I mean, this is no just something out of the blue. This has been muted, probably since January, maybe even before then. So, like I said, is there smoke without fire here, or do you think there might be something in it?
Well, if there is any truth in it, I can only see it being kind of personal issues. I don't see how the board could sanction £5 million and then basically 1 year later without playing it at all, basically, and then letting him go on loan. And then if it's a loan to buy, the price will be less again in a year's time, which doesn't make sense. So it just looked bad on the board. The only thing I would say, if I was going to kind of agree with it, would be if it was Michael Beale's total decision. He's got a left back lined up, and if we had to make money on Ridvan or get the same amount back, then I would be kind of happy with it if it was Michael Beale's decision. But if it's just the board saying, "Oh, we'll let him in loan, and then a years later we'll take a cut price, etc." I just don't think it makes football business sense. And again, it just wouldn't look good on the board.
Yeah, for me, as I said, playing a wee bit of devil's advocate, there's no smoke without fire. But for me, I think that the bottom line is this young boy, we spent good money on him. We've not really seen a lot of him. He started to settle a wee bit and then got a bad injury. We've been out for 4 months. So, as far as I'm concerned, this boy is here to play football for Rangers. And I think that he needs a run, a consistent run of games to see actually what he's like. I mean, we don't really know how good this boy is. We don't really know his weaknesses or his strengths. So for me, I think that we just need to see what happens. Give him as much time as we possibly can, and watch this boy, see if he grows. As I said, I think that this is maybe just a media talk trying to unsettle the boy. So for me, I think it's all pie in the sky, to be perfectly honest.
If
Just
I
to
add something on
Curry,
that, Mark,
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if he doesn't start tomorrow. That could maybe add fuel to it. But I'm hoping he does start. But just as a wee point to look for tomorrow.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll pick the bones out of that in a wee bit. Just to Curry. I'm actually at work at the minute. I'm offshore, mate. So this is my hovel when I'm not home. This is my wee cell for 14 days. So as I said, I've not really got a mansion. As I said, this is just slightly smaller than a cell. All right. Hope that clears things up for you. So, other wee quick one that kind of popped up today, Craig. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Hagi's not been picked for Romania's double header coming up. Allegedly, his dad's raging. Is this a snub, or do you think it's just the coach being a bit cautious with just coming back from injury?
I think it's probably more of the second one. I think they do highly rate him in Romania, so I can't see it being a snub from the team because he's one of their sort of main players when fit. I think it will be just sort of making sure he's fit going forward. Personally, I'm not disappointed in it, if I'm honest, because the way we've been going, he's probably likely to go on international duty and get an injury while he's away. So I'm not exactly crying tears over it and not being away. Gives him some time here to sort of get his fitness up. And I mean, he's only played 2 or 3 games since he's been back. So it's probably the right decision.
So Stuart says here, Hagi's not match fit. So something I was going to say to you, Graham, was I was actually going to say to you, do you think he's ready to start playing at that kind of level, that international football? Or is it maybe worthwhile taking him over there, getting him readjusted to that kind of squad, giving him a wee boost that they're still thinking about him and bringing him in, or do you think that's the right thing to do?
It's one of the ones I can see both sides because I don't see him being anywhere near challenging for starts for Rangers. So with international football, that's always kind of slower and the intensity is not really there as much as club football. So I think it would actually do Rangers a favour if he went and played maybe say 245 minutes over the 2 games, and then it would maybe get him closer to being match ready for us. But obviously, if that happened as well, he got injured, I'd be raging. So it's one of the ones. You can see both sides. So I would be happy with the club decision or the Romania's decision and just take it as it is.
Yeah, I mean, Craig, what I was thinking about was, I mean, would the fact that he's no went, would that maybe have a wee dent in the boys' confidence? I mean, as I said earlier, maybe that give him a wee boost at the fact that the teams, the international teams, thinking about him and thinking that he's still, even although he's injured, that it gives them a wee kind of boost to say, do you know what, we know you're maybe not 100%, but we still want you to come and join. You think that's going to have an effect on his confidence, or do you think that he's just going to take it for what it is at face value?
I think it depends what conversation's been had between him and the Romanian manager. if they've come out and said you're not in our plans at the minute, that would probably be a dent to his confidence. But if they've come out and said you're in our plans and it's just a case of managing your return from injury. Obviously, what we don't sort of forget is that this boy had more than a year out for injury, for a massive injury. If they've had that conversation with to say like you're in our plans, but it's just sort of this squad might be a little bit too early for you to be involved. Keep playing with Rangers, and then when we play again in the summer, you'll be basically you'll be called up then as long as everything's still going well. Then for me, that's fine. Curry's comment about him being a bit slight, I actually think the opposite. I actually think that when I saw him on Sunday, he looks like he's been doing quite a lot of work on his physique. I mean, he's never been the biggest player, and his dad wasn't the biggest player, so it's not like he's 6'5" and built like a brick outhouse. He's never been sort of massive, or he's always been quite slight and slender, but he does look like he has bulked up a little bit. Obviously, in his rehabilitation.
Yeah, just on, I actually agree with what Paul said here. Hagi's come back early, so the club were looking to give him a pre-season. Any games that he gets from now until then is a bonus. I 100% agree with that. I think that we're probably not going to see the best of Hagi back to his best till probably next season, and maybe even a wee bit deeper into next season. So I think that we need to realise the magnitude of the injury that the boys had, and the fight that he's done to get back earlier than what was expected of him. So as I said, he's missed an awful lot of football. I agree with you, Craig, as well. I think that seeing him now, I think he's probably put on at least a stone in muscle. It looks, when he first came to us, it was very slight. It was quite a thin boy, and I think he's spent his time well in the gym. I think he looks a lot stronger. He's never going to be quick, but as I said, he looks as if he's put on a bit of beef. So as I said, I think that the fact that Romania have maybe took a cautious approach and said, you know what, we don't think you're ready. Know that we don't like you, and know that we don't want you to play. I think that they're saying to him, maybe best if you concentrate on getting up to 100% fit and concentrating on your club. You've missed a lot of club football, so I think that for me that's the best thing for Hagi at the moment, as I said. But time will tell. Time will tell. As I said, if he's maybe gets put into the next squad, then what we've said might be vindicated a wee bit here. Just moving on, the other one that was in today, as I said, we've had a few things crop up today. Just over the last day or two, Raskin, Craig, is it an injury, or is it an issue, or are we reading too much into it? As I said, the talk is that he's possibly a doubt for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's more of just a sort of niggling issue rather than injury. The way that Michael Beale was sort of talking, he seemed to think that it would basically be based on how he was today. If he was okay today, he'd probably be all right to play tomorrow. I think the fact we got an international break coming up, I know he's probably been called up to the Belgium under-21s, but there's no, apart from him sort of completely breaking down and getting a really bad injury, if he was to play tomorrow, there's not really a lot of risk with him playing tomorrow. He's obviously got a couple of weeks to sort of recover from that little niggle. But if I'm being honest, and obviously we'll come on to this in a little while, obviously when we preview the match, if he is slightly not 100% and we do choose to rest him, we should still have enough in the team to get past Motherwell.
Yeah, as I said, looking at this boy, I'd just like to get Graham's opinion on him. I think it would, for us to lose him now, and it just shows you the impact that the boys had. That if we were to lose him just now, I think it would be a big blow to us. What's your thoughts on him? What's your thoughts on the impact he's had in the squad, Graham?
I really like him, mate. He's the type of midfielder I like. He's kind of all energy. He's calm. He takes the ball off the defence. He's good as a double pivot. He kind of breaks forward as well. But he's kind of an all-action midfielder, and he's the type of midfielder I look forward to watching. So I'm gutted if he is injured, and I believe, see if he misses tomorrow, the same rule should work for the vice versa, that he shouldn't be able to play for Belgium under 21s. Because if we say our international team, that player's not fit, and then we play him the next game, we can get fined and stuff like that. So it should be the same for me, both ways. Because I don't think it's fair. Clubs, well, in my opinion, club always comes first. So, and I was looking forward to watching him tomorrow. So it's a hard one, but I really believe I've got a feeling he will be fit enough to play. And because I don't think if he was going to be a major doubt, he wouldn't have been called up, I think. So seeing him in the international squads gave me a wee bit of hope he'll be fine for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before. A lot of times they call them up just to almost double check that we're not lying to them. They call them up and then say that they send them away because of injury. So I hope that's not the case. I hope that the boy is fit. I hope that it's just a small issue and a bit of rest will sort this out. What's your thoughts on him, Craig? What's your thoughts on the impact he's had in the team since he's been here?
I try not to fall in love with players so quickly, and it was sort of 10 minutes into his debut, and I was just like, oh, my new favourite. Yeah, he's been basically amazing for me. Just the way that he sort of gets the ball, and his first thought is play the ball forward. Just play the ball forward. He's not worried about. I mean, I was surprised actually about people talking about Hagi being slight. Obviously, Raskin's very, very slight in terms of his height, but he certainly makes up for it with his sort of gameplay and his tenacity. I think we've got a real good player on our hands if once he gets up to and considering he hasn't played for quite a while, considering he gets up to sort of proper 100% match fitness, I think we've managed to grab a bargain.
Yeah, I think he's a cracker. I think he's a real bargain. I think that he's exactly what we've been shouting for the last probably year and a half to 2 years. I think he's exactly what we need. I think that the likes of Kamara's been slowed down for some reason. I think Lundstrom as well looks as if he's slowed down. I think there's no really been any energy or legs in our midfield for a while. So I mean, for me, his impact's been absolutely fantastic. As I said, I really like the look of him. He's his eye to move the ball forward. It says he's very rarely does he knock that ball back away. He's always looking to make a forward pass, and for me, that's something we've been screaming for God knows how long. As I said, I think his impact's been great, and I would think that just shows you that we would think it's a massive blow if this boy gets injured and misses out in a few games moving forward. So, as I said, fingers crossed he's okay. It's just a little issue and we move on.
Another thing, can I just add, Mark? Another thing I like about him is it brings the best out in other players. Was one of the qualities I like about him. Ryan Jack's got it as well, but also he's quite injury prone, so we don't see him as often. So when we've got Jack and Raskin in the middle together, I think it just suits the team better, and the attacking options can just get on with their job, because I know they've got the two players that basically keep control of possession, the tempo of the game, and keep everyone going forward. So it's a good team midfield we've got when they two play.
100% agree with you. 100%. So the other big news, well, the news as well. We discussed this a fair bit on the members show last night. Tillman back in contention to start. What we'll do is we'll have a talk about him. We'll go through the team for tomorrow, and we'll take it bit by bit. As I said, obviously Tillman's back training and looks as if he's possibly going to be fit to play tomorrow, which is a good thing. As I said, whether he starts on the bench or not, but he's back. Craig, does he get in the starting line straight away?
For me, I think it depends on Raskin. If Raskin's fit enough to play, then probably no. I'd imagine he'll be on the bench. If there's any doubt with Raskin, then I could probably see a midfield of maybe Ryan Jack, Tillman and Cantwell. We don't really need Lundstrom and Jack, or Lundstrom and Kamara, or Jack and Kamara, in my opinion, tomorrow. So go with the one. Tillman and Cantwell can do the dirty work if they need to. but I can obviously also support going forward. So Raskin in, then no, he's on the bench. Raskin out, then yes, I think he'll start.
What about you, Graham? Do you think that's the way to go, or do you think Tillman and Cantwell can play in the same team together, or what's your thoughts on it?
I think they can play in the same team together, but I don't know if it's maybe as 2 8s. I think one would have to be pushed out wide because I think there's no chance Beale will go with just Ryan Jack and then the two of them as 8s. I think you'll probably see Kamara or Lundstrom if Raskin's not fit. But I'm praying because after the Hibs game, I put up a tweet saying that's the midfield three I've been waiting for years. So I just really hope Jack, Raskin, and Cantwell are fit, and then we can stick with Sakala, Cholak, and Kent as the front three. So I'm praying, fingers crossed, that that's the team we get tomorrow.
Right. So right, well, there's obviously that's a good segue into the team. So I'll go back to you, Graham. Right. So the goalkeeper situation is probably we know who's going to start there. That's all right. So we know that that's probably McGregor. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that, mate. Aye.
So you being a tactical man, do you think we're going to go three at the back? I mean, there's been a few wee bits and bobs floated about, and we kind of things dropped that you might see a different formation and stuff like that. Do you think we're going to go three at the back, or are you got a back four, or what do you think the setup's going to be tomorrow?
I think it'll be a back four. I can't see him. If he was going to go for a free, it'd be in an Old Firm or at home. I think I don't see him doing it away from home at Motherwell. So I think it'll be the back four. But what I took for his press conference that I might watch for is he said they might put someone there that can play left back, which means I think he could maybe put Ben Davies to left back and then maybe bring in Suter to partner Goldson or even Leon King back in. In fact, I don't know if Leon King's playing tonight actually, but so I'll be looking out for that. But I hope it's more we see Ridvan and then it's kind of natural. But that's one thing I'll look out for tomorrow morning when the start lineup comes out.
Yeah. So I'll take the same to you. Can you see a formation change, or do you think we're going to go four at the back, Craig?
I can. Beale's been talking about it for quite a while, but I agree with Graham. I don't think it'll be tomorrow. I think it'll be a sort of a game where we can have a lot more of the possession and to sort of see how that three at the back goes. Not that we won't get a lot of possession tomorrow, but away games are always a bit tricky with that sort of tight pitch. Four at the back for me. The back four, apart from the left back, picks itself. And I would hope to expect to see Yilmaz there tomorrow. I think it would say a lot if Yilmaz wasn't to play and a Ben Davies was to go left back or Adam Devine was to go left back. I mean, that would say a lot going forward. So for me, Yilmaz has got to be, if the club brought him in and Beale has talked about him in the way he's talked about him, then he's basically got to play Yilmaz.
Thanks very much for the super sticker. Thanks very much, Trying Scotsman. Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Here's a good one from Curry. Think Davis and Goldson and Suter not got the pace to play three at the back. I don't know. I mean, do we really need that kind of mad pace? I mean, the way we play week in week out with a mad low block with that's so you're really up against one striker. So for three of them to marshal one striker, somebody can easy drop off. I don't think you need pace unless it's somebody with lightning pace. Then I don't really think that's an issue. Different in a European game or possibly in an Old Firm, but I don't think pace really comes into it, especially when we're playing against a low block. So the both of yous have went, and I probably agree. It will be a back four, I would think. For me, Tav, Goldson, Davies. So Graham, you were thinking that that might change. What I'll do is I'll take it to Craig. So the talk of Bonner, his wife's just about to give birth. I think she's a couple of days late, I believe. So the talk was, or rumour was, that they might give Bonner leave of absence to go to Croatia and be with his wife. So if that's the case, then we need somebody to play left back. So is Yilmaz the man that goes in there? I think Graham mentioned that it possibly might be Davis. What's your thoughts? or
Now,
even Divine. I mean, there's another option. Divine can go in there and play.
yeah, for me,
He
it's got
did
to
mention
be.
him. He did mention him in the press conference. Sorry to talk
Yeah.
over you.
That's right. For me, it's got to be Yilmaz. If we want to see how this boy plays and how he handles Scottish football, he's got to go in. For me, I think it would say a lot, and it would dent his confidence a bit if a non traditional left back was to play in front of him, considering the amount of money we paid on him and the fact he's just coming back from an injury. I saw Corey mention about that their players might be pacey, but I'm sorry, we should have more than enough, no matter who plays left back, to sort of deal with their players. But yeah, Yilmaz for me. There's no other option in my opinion until 11:15 tomorrow when we see the team, and and then I have to eat my words.
Yeah, so most people in the comments as well, Graham, are all saying Yilmaz is the way. You want to change your mind? Are you still going to go for Davies?
When I said that, I was just going with what Michael Beale said in his press conference. I hope it's Yilmaz, but it was just the way he says. I think he was talking about Yilmaz, and he says, but we might change, or he might see someone else play that position or something along the lines. And it made me think Davies can play left back. So I was just putting that as an option. But I really hope it is Ridvan, because like Craig says, if it's not him, then I think it says a lot for this rumour that might be giving more fire to it as well.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I'm sorry, I flung you under the bus a wee bit there, Graham. I was a wee bit tongue in cheek here, mate. I know that you were just kind of going on what you was saying. So for me, I'm desperate to see Yilmaz. I don't know about you, Craig. As I said, I think that this young boy has got all sorts of talent, and I know that a few people have said because he's small and lack of height and stuff like that. Is it something you need? Is something Rangers need? Is a 6'2" left back that's going to be good in the air?
No, I mean, Borner's what? I'm not sure how tall Borner is, and he's not exactly great in the air. Obviously, does win the odd header. For me, it's not his what he may lack in height and sort of heading ability. He'll make up for in other areas. I don't see him. I mean, if he's played in Turkey for 2 or 3 years, that's not an easy league. And you'd think that teams over there would sort of would hit him quite early or focus on him. He's obviously played. I think he's played some games in Europe as well. So it's not like he's a novice coming into our club at 17, 18. Yeah, so I'm not exactly torn on this sort of. He has to be 6'3", Calvin Bassey style. I think he will prove any doubters wrong. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, Graham, have we seen enough of him to know that this is a weakness of his, or have we not seen enough of him?
I've definitely not seen enough. Every time he's made an appearance for Rangers, I've missed it due to work. But we've definitely, in our main, we've not seen a lot of him. I don't think he's started many, one maybe two. So we've definitely not seen a lot of him. So I'm looking forward to it. I really hope he does start. And I don't really buy into that whole, he's small and that, because probably the best left backs, you can name them. It's not really, as long as you're aware of what's about you and you've got your man, you can put them off with gentle touches and stuff like that. So I'm not too fussed about that. And plus, we need to focus on it playing our game. And I think, if I'm being honest with him, he likes to cut inside for what I've seen, and kind of go inside. That can give Kent more options as well. So I think that could work well together. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, for me, I would 100% go with Yilmaz tomorrow, left back. If Borna's no fit, sorry, I take that back. Know that he's no fit. If he's got a leave of absence, then I think it's a no brainer. I think Yilmaz is what's that? He said half an hour. He said half an hour in a B team game. He said I think he did half an hour in another game, and he come on for like the last half hour, 20 minutes, um, at the weekend there as well. So I think that he should be fitness wise. He should be close to starting, and I think that he's definitely got something a little bit different from Borna, Craig. Would On a positive note, let's be positive for once in our lives. And what's his attributes that he's got over Borna? I know Borna's are good at crossing the ball, but what does Yilmaz bring that's different?
I think for me, he's a bit more tenacious in defence. Borna tends to have these moments where if somebody gets the better of him quite early on, that they've basically got the better of him for the whole sort of game. Yilmaz tends to be a bit more sort of bull terrier like, sort of chasing wingers down. He offers us something different where a player will get the ball out to Borna, and very rarely does Borna sort of come inside or beat the opposition fullback. He generally tends to get the ball and just get the ball out of his feet and ping it in the box. Yilmaz can at least dribble, come inside. He's not afraid of sort of playing balls inside as well. And I think the fact he's a few years younger just gives him legs on. For me, I think Borna, if we were looking in the summer at getting rid of one of them, I don't think we'd get much difference in money for the two. Obviously, Yilmaz has been injured. I think we'd sort of get a decent amount for Borna. I would be looking to move Borna on, and sort of get the younger left back in and get somebody in to compete with Yilmaz going forward.
Do you agree with that, Graham?
Yeah, I agree with that. All that, mate. But I believe it reminds me a wee bit of I'm just going by YouTube basically. But see the way Arthur Newman used to run inside, and Alberts and Van Bronckhorst, and that would play the ball down the line and get to the byline. I think he's got that in him. Plus, there's a clip on YouTube as well. He's got a few wee pieces of skill that can beat a man. So I'd say he's better there. Obviously, Borna's great at delivery. We might miss that, but I'm pretty sure Yilmaz has got decent delivery as well. They play for in Turkey. You've got to do something about you. So I imagine it'll be a good standard. So I think he does offer more, and he's got that low centre of gravity as well. I think it could help get by players and get to the byline, put balls. I'd like to see more cutbacks instead of crosses all the time. Let's see a cut back to the penalty box or a shot at goal. I think he could bring that more. So it's something to look out for tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, I think that the difference that he brings as well, I much agree with the same as you guys. I think that what I've seen him, which isn't a lot to be honest with you, but what I've seen him, he likes to mix up. He likes to go outside. He likes to come inside. He likes to try and get to the byline. And I think that when you're playing against a low block, if you can get to the byline, well, they've got hundreds of bodies in the box. If you can get to the byline and get the ball across the face of the goal, it causes havoc, especially when you're getting defenders trying to turn and try to clear balls and stuff like that. It's just mayhem. So for me, I know that Borna can take a touch and whip an early ball in, which is great. But when you're doing that, you're counting in forwards making great runs. And as I said, I don't think there's enough people in the box for us to do that when we start doing that early. I think that Yilmaz is got that potential to cause a wee bit more havoc rather than the right back just thinking he's going to take a touch and cross this. Yilmaz is going to give him a wee bit more to think about rather than just that. I think that he's going to think, well, this boy's going to get past me, and he's going to try and get to the byline, and then the next minute he's going to hit an early cross in. So for me, I think the fact that he mixes it up causes a wee bit more, like creative flair. I think, and it helps with the likes of Kent moving off him and stuff like that. I think that you're going to get more against a lower block. That's just my opinion, as I said. But that's I've agreed with you too. I think that we're back four pretty much picks itself. If Borna's got to leave absence and not going to be there, Yilmaz goes in. I think 100%. I think the tricky thing now is probably midfield. Now we've got Raskin, that's possibly a doubt. If Raskin does the play, Graham, who's your midfield three?
Can I just say I hope he does play for a start? Well,
I'll tell you what. Give us with Raskin and without Raskin.
If Raskin's fit, then it's got to be the three that have been performing well away at Hibs and Hearts. Hibs, sorry. Cantwell, Jack, Raskin. I think the three of them suit each other. They combine well. They've all got similar qualities, and then some of them provide different as well. So it's a good midfield three for me. So hopefully that is the starting midfield tomorrow. But if it isn't, what I'd like to see is what Craig said. But I don't think Michael Beale would go with that. I think you'll see Jack plus either Kamara or Lundstrom. Probably Lundstrom. And then Cantwell.
So Jack, Lundstrom and Cantwell?
Yeah.
No Tillman?
I think if that's the case, then I think Tillman would go. There's got a better chance of playing wide right instead of Sakala than playing in the midfield three.
Right, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. So your midfield three is, just to clarify, is Lundstrom, Jack, and Cantwell.
If Raskin's not fit, yes.
If Raskin's not fit. Right, Craig, same question to you, buddy. You tell me, which your midfield three?
Same three as Graham. If Raskin's fit, Raskin, Jack, Cantwell, that has to be the midfield now for the remainder of the season. If
Carry on.
If Raskin isn't fit, the midfield three I would go for would be Tillman, Jack, and Cantwell. But I agree that the midfield the manager will go for will be the one that Graham said, which will be Lundstrom, Jack, and Cantwell. I don't see him going. I would go two more attacking midfielders, but I don't see the manager going that way.
So same again, no Tillman.
I don't think Tillman. If Raskin isn't fit, well, either way, I think Tillman will be on the bench. I think it'll be Raskin or Lundstrom in the midfield, and Tillman will be good enough for the bench and maybe come on sort of second half once the game's hopefully put to bed.
Right, interesting. Both of these going the same way. No Kamara. None of these even thought about Kamara. Kamara's nowhere near it. I think probably I agree with the fact that there's no Kamara. I think Kamara, for me, I thought Kamara was I still do think he's a smashing player. I think he's a great player. I just think his heart and his head's no in it, and it's no been in it this season at all. So I agree with you there. For me, I think he maybe go. We'll say right, Raskin. If Raskin's playing, it's Raskin, Jack, and Tillman for me, and I'll tell you why. Because I think he will play Cantwell. No wide right, because we don't really ever play with a wide right. So he'll play that inside right side of the front three, and he'll drop Sakala. Is my thoughts is what will happen. I think Tillman will play in there if Raskin is there. But if Raskin's not there, I think he'll go with Jack Lundstrom, and Tillman again. Yeah, so I think that's going to be the case, and I think Cantwell is going to go. I think he's a shoe in to play, and I think Sakala will be dropped. Right, Graham, give me a front three then, if that's the case.
The front three, when I'm hoping Raskin plays, would be Sakala, Cholak, and Ryan Kent. Because the reason I'm sticking with Sakala is I feel he's got a good record at Motherwell for a start, and the link-up play and the celebrations and all that. I always read into stuff like that with him and Cholak look quite well, and I think they could probably strike up a good wee partnership. So I'd like to see that continue. But if Raskin isn't fit, I could see him putting Cantwell or Tillman out to the right to get the two of them in. But I'll go with Sakala, Cholak, Kent.
So just to reply to Timothy Sharp, the reason I take Sakala at the team is for the reason being is that Motherwell are going to play with a low block. Sakala is brilliant at hurdles of pace and running behind and running at players. He's not going to get any space. So for me, Cantwell is get a pass, an eye for a pass, and can play through the lines. And that's why I would take Sakala. I love Sakala. I think he's a great guy, and I think that he's always capable of a goal. But that's why I would take him at the side. I think that when you're playing against a low block, you need somebody that's got a wee bit of guile to try and split a pass, split a defence, and make something happen. I think Sakala is pace and power, and I think that he'll get on the end of something, which is good. But I don't think that this particular game, I don't think that would be the case. I think that you're going to get more creativity from Cantwell and Tillman playing in the same side. Just so back to you, Craig. Same question again. Your front three then.
Scott Wright, Cholak, Matondo. No, I'm only joking. I'm actually joking. No, I think surprisingly, I wouldn't actually be massively surprised if Scott Wright was to play. I'd say that now. But I think it would be Sakala, Cholak, Kent. I don't see Cantwell or Tillman playing out wide. I think if they're going to play, it'll be in the being the midfield three. And I think, yes, they will play a low block, but I think Sakala could probably torture them the way with his pace, considering his record against Motherwell in the past. I think that they'll be scared to sort of try and give him any form of space behind.
Yeah, as I said, I can't argue with any of the two have said. As I said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. but no, I can't argue it, and I can't argue anybody's reasoning for that as well. I think that for that reason, I think we're in a pretty good place. I think that the fact that we're second guessing what the manager's going to do means that we've got players that are doing well, and we've got a squad that's looking a lot healthier than it did at the start of the season. So for me, I think long may this continue. I think that the let's face it, it's good for the pod because everybody's got a different opinion. Everybody thinks he should play, he shouldn't play, which is, as I said, if that's going to be the case moving forward, I think we're in not a bad place. The only thing I would bring up to the both of you probably, and I'll go to you, Craig, as well. Obviously, there's been recent rumours about Alfie. So are you just fed up with Alfie, and you think that, or do you think that Cholak's a better player and a better option?
I don't particularly think Cholak's a better player, because I think if you put them side by side in actual football terms, Morelos is probably the better footballer than Cholak. Not to say Cholak's sort of limited in what he can do, but Cholak is by far and away the better goal scorer and better finisher. I think we're trying to probably adapt the way the team play to suit him more, with one eye on Morelos. And I don't buy into this sort of Michael Beale contradicting himself by having a go at Alfie the other day and then now saying there's no issue with Alfie in his press conference. For me, I think that the decision has been made with Alfie for next season. I think whether the club come out and say it or whether Alfie comes out and says it, I think the club has been the decision has been made and he won't be here next season. So I think the manager now is having to use this time to see how his team adapt without an Alfredo Morelos.
Yeah, but we're running out of time fast here. So just same kind of question to you, Graham. Do you think that that's the case? Do you think that we're kind of seeing the end of Alfie at the club and Cholak's going to be here, so that's why he's playing, or do you think Cholak's a better player? Because obviously you never picked him either.
I love Alfie, and I've always said it numerous times that I love Alfie compared to Laudrup. I just love Alfie a different way, but it's the right ending now. I've had the circus and all every transfer window he's signing here, or he's coming back overweight, or this. I'm just kind of getting fed up with it now. So it's the right ending. His contract ends. We thank him. He's the top goal scorer in Europe for us, and then we move forward with Cholak and hopefully bring in one or two strikers. So that's why I picked Cholak. We need to go with him because he's the future for me. But I still love Alfie.
Yeah, I think we're kind of, all of us are kind of at the stage where that I think it's the kind of natural order that Alfie's going to leave. I think that for me, I don't want to be cruel on him, but I would concentrate on Cholak. I would concentrate on him playing in this formation. The boy scores goals, so Alfie's not interested in what Disney. Don't get me wrong, I take that back. He is but interested right up until he leaves. But for me, if you don't want to stay at this club for another 2 or 3 years or whatever it is, then I'm going to be going with the boy that is going to be here, because you need to look forward. You need to look to the future of the club. So for me, Cholak gets a nod. Whether I think Alfie's a better player or I don't think he's a better player, and I know some people in the comments will cut their nose off to spite their face, thing like that. But well, that is what it is. As I said, I think that his time's up. His time's up. Right. So quickly, we'll give you just before we go, give me your predictions. Your first goal scorer, Craig. Very, very quickly.
Rangers 3-0 and Ryan Jack.
First goal scorer. All right, guys in the comments, very, very quickly, you've got until I ask Graham the question to tell us what your predictions are in first goal scorer. So get them in really, really quickly. Graham, your
I'm going to
predictions.
go.
And
I
your
was going to
first goal
say
scorer.
3-0, but I'll change it. I'll go 3-1. And I've been saying it for a while. It's coming. Todd Cantwell screamer outside the box, top corner.
Brilliant, brilliant. For me, I'm going to go 3-0, and I'm going to go Tillman with the first goal. They're trying to get as many of these. Foldsy's no part first goal scorer.
Do you have a backup if Tillman doesn't play, Mark?
Cantwell. I'd love to see Cantwell score. So it's Cantwell first goal scorer for me.
He's getting
Right,
closer
guys.
and closer, so it's coming.
Yeah, definitely. Right, guys. Thanks very much for joining us. Graham, thanks very much. Craig, thanks a lot. Just a quick reminder to the guys. Thanks everybody for watching and commenting and stuff like that. It's been really good. Just a reminder, like, share. There's only 5 likes on this at the moment, and there's a lot more than 5 of you watching. So give it a wee thumbs up. It helps the pod. It helps the show. Give it a share. You know the stuff. Do all the stuff that they do on the old interweb and the old social media. All right, guys. Take care, and we'll see you again soon. I think there's obviously the usual shows on tomorrow for a game. There's a pre-match and post-match as well reaction. So, as I said, I don't know any of you guys on it.
I'm on the pre-match. I'm not sure about reaction. I think I'm on both, actually.
I'm on them both tomorrow.
Not to worry, I'll be working. All right, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Take care and bye-bye.